ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथा धामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Vaisnava K. What kind of devotee are you? A Bengali poem written by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Sri Srila Prabhupada. The verse translation and extensive quotes from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and commentary by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Continuing to read from verse 3. তোমারো কনক ভোগের জনক কনকের দ্বারে সেবা হো মাধব কামিনীর কাম নাহে তব ধাম তাহার মালিক কেবল যাদব. Translation. My dear mind, you are attached to wealth, and due to Maya's influence, you want to use your money simply for the gratification of your material senses. But by this, you will get no eternal satisfaction. You should use the wealth at your disposal in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Madhava. Only then you can experience transcendental bliss from wealth. Your lusty desires to enjoy beautiful women are not an abode where you can find real shelter. The supreme lover is Yadava. He is the supreme enjoyer and owner of everyone's love. Offer all your love and devotion to Lord Krishna and you will be completely satisfied. Mukham karoti vachalam pangurlangayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. So here, this very, very, very beautiful verse, the way it has been translated. Srila Guru Maharaj actually says in the purport that in this particular verse, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Sri Srila Prabhupada is giving appropriate instructions to the mind. He's giving very appropriate instructions to the mind. The mind actually requires very, very satisfying instructions. In the case that if you just say, the mind, Guru Maharaj explains, that it's just like a child. If you tell the mind, don't do this, then it will want to do only that. If you tell the mind, do this, it will not want to do that. So it's just like a very rebellious child. Because in the stage of impurity, that at least I'm in, I can say that, the mind has definitely not become our friend at this time. It's still our enemy. It's a very arch enemy. And it always rebels. It always retaliates. It always wants to, do what we don't want it to do. The mind is very agitated. It never stays calm. It's very, very difficult to control the mind. So if we just say to the mind, no, mind, now it is time for our japa. No, mind, now it is time for us to do our proper sadhana. No, mind, don't think of this. We should now only concentrate on our japa, and let's listen to this lecture. Let us listen to, the words coming from Guru Maharaj. Let us listen to, or go and associate with the devotees in the temple, or let us go to a program. When we say all this to the mind immediately retaliates. Why? Because that is the nature of the rebellious mind. The mind in its impure state, in its conditioned state, it is natural for the mind to act like this. It is very natural for the mind. It's very, very difficult if the mind is automatically getting prone to concentrate, to stay in one fixed position when we are doing our japa, when we are doing our different other sadhana, when we are rendering any other seva, when we are attending any program, when we are doing the Bhakti Vriksha program or any other program. It's so difficult to control the mind, to have its, vyavasa yatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana, to have that one focused point is extremely difficult for the mind. But how do we train such a rebellious mind? Our childlike mind, the way we, train it, is that when a child, supposing a child has a very dangerous item in its hand, like a knife, if a child is holding a knife, and if you run behind that child and say, give me that knife, you're going to cut yourself, don't run with that knife, the child will run away. They will not sit and say, yeah, please, take the knife back. They'll not listen. They'll run with that knife. And they might even cut themselves. So it's a very dangerous thing. So the best way to get the knife out of the child's hand is that give the child something to replace it with. Give the child some chocolate, and then the child will immediately throw the knife and come to get the chocolate. So that is the best way to give this is called the replacement technology or the replacement tactic. Just like how Mayavadis, they say, everything is, in this material world, everything is false. Everything is false. Neti. They just say no this, no that, no this, even say no to everything. But it is impossible to just say no to everything, because that is not our nature. We need some kind of a replacement, okay? I will say no to it only if I have something better to latch on to. So we need to have some kind of a replacement. So here in this, that is the way we can actually control our restless mind. Our mind, it is not just enough to tell the mind, concentrate on japa, focus on japa. It's not just, enough to say that. We should say the reason why. We should give it some kind of a, the objective. We should give it a final objective. Why? Why am I telling you, mind? Just like here in this particular verse that we read, how Guru Maharaj is saying that the mind requires satisfactory instructions. It needs to be given replacement kind of instructions. Like it is saying here that, my dear mind, you are attached to wealth, and due to Maya's influence, you want to use your money simply for the gratification of your material senses. That is how normally we want. Now, if we just say that, okay, now you stop, don't use this money for your material sense gratification, then the mind will say, then what am I supposed to use it for? So that also it is giving here the solution. You should use the wealth at your disposal in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Madhava. Use it for the service of Krishna. Only then you can experience transcendental bliss from wealth. So here, this is the replacement instruction that has been given. That not just stop using money. Srila Prabhupada said this, Yukta Vairagya. He said, if you have money, use it in the service of Krishna. Transcendentalize your Lakshmi. And then here again it says, the second two lines, they say, your lusty desires to enjoy beautiful women are not an abode where you can find real shelter. In regards to this, Guru Maharaj is explaining in the purport that in this material world, everything, is running with one activity in the center of its, in the center. And that is attraction between male and female. That is the way this material world is running. How a wheel operates? A wheel operates because the everything is connected to the center, and then the center keeps it moving. So therefore the wheel keeps rotating like that. So the way this material world is functioning is because at the center of its activities is this attraction. It's the lusty attraction between man and woman. So is this the real abode? It is not. We know that theoretically. But we should understand that the supreme lover is none other than Yadava, Krishna. He is Madana Mohana. He is the one who is even charming the one who is known as the god of love, Cupid, Kamadev, Madana. So Madana, he is Mohana. He is captivating and even, capturing the heart of Madana. Therefore, his name is Madana Mohana. So, we should realize that is the way that we can curb our lusty desires. And it is explained here that if we want to curb our lusty desires, it is explained that when we take darshan of the deities, when we take darshan, we start from the lotus feet and we move our eyes upwards and take darshan of the complete form and the personality of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. And it is explained that when we come to the lotus face of the deities, that we should move our eyes from the left to the right of Krishna's eyebrows. The Krishna's, from when we are seeing Krishna's eyebrow that is to our right, we move from left to right, and Krishna's eyebrow, when we look at him, which is on our left side, then we move from right to left. So from his forehead, you move on either side. And if you notice that Krishna's eyebrows are actually shaped, the weapon that Cupid uses, he has a bow and arrow. He shoots arrows of love towards, or arrows of lust rather. He shoots arrows of love and lust to inflict people. That is the arrow and the bow that he has. That is his weapon, Cupid's weapon. So Krishna's eyebrows are said to be like that of Kandarpa's bow. Kandarpa is another name of Cupid or Kamadev. So Cupid's bow is like Krishna's eyebrow. So if we just move our vision across the eyebrows of Krishna, it is said that it has so much potency that it can destroy the lusty desires in our heart. And that is the reason why Srila Prabhupada has imparted the importance of deity worship in our society. Because these lusty desires, the way they can get purified is when we worship the deity, when we, even for, souls who are covered in woman body, for, degraded souls like us, we actually, if you see the, the previous ages, women were not even qualified to chant the Gayatri mantras. Women were not even allowed to touch the deity. But it was the mercy of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Sri Srila Prabhupada that he started giving Brahman Diksha to women also. And Srila Prabhupada continued the legacy of, giving Brahman Diksha to ladies and to give them the opportunity to also do deity seva. Because in Kali Yuga, otherwise we have no other hope. No other hope. You see, in the previous ages, the ladies, they were so much filled with chastity towards their husband. So just by the husband's rendering of devotional service and the wife selflessly serving her husband, she would get all that she needs, to take care of herself spiritually. Because whatever the husband would do, she would get an equal portion of it, just by serving the husband only. That is how it is explained about Kapil Muni and Devahuti. It is explained about Kardama Muni. So all of these great sages, they were accompanied by their wives, their saintly wives, their chaste wives. And those wives, the only thing that they did was serve their husband. That's all they did. They were so chaste. And because of their chastity, they didn't need to perform separate spiritual activities. All they needed to do was to serve their saintly husbands. So in Kali Yuga, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur could foresee that neither the women have that power of chastity, nor do the men also have the power to be so strong devotionally on their own. So they both need the support of each other. So seeing these kind of, lack amongst, the people of Kali Yuga, these great souls, our acharyas, they have mercifully given us something that we really don't deserve, so that we can also be able to not only assist our, husbands in their services, but also keep rendering service at the same time ourselves, So our Guru Maharaj, he says one very beautiful thing. He says that in previous ages, if the husband was doing 100%, the wife would also get, 100%. She would get automatically, but it would stay 100%. It would never go beyond 100%. But then Guru Maharaj said, but in Kali Yuga, because women are also doing so nice Krishna consciousness, they're engaged in such beautiful devotional service. So when a grihastha couple, they together render devotional service, the husband is doing their 100%, the wife is doing her 100%, then the children also come and do their 100%. So it's more than 200% that every household can achieve, spiritually. So this is the glory of our acharyas, that how they have given us this kind of mercy, and we can give this, replacement tactic to the mind that, yes, my dear mind, you are attached to lusty desires, you are having these kind of desires, but it's okay. It's okay for you to have it for now, but then also do something about it. What can we do? What is the something that we can do about it? Engage in some service. And once we engage in some service, then we'll be automatically able to get rid of this. This one Guru Maharaj is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, In the purport, he is quoting from the 5th canto, one of my most favorite verses, which is Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. So this is very, very beautiful verse from the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says that one can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. One should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and the other. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in an abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. So here, the way that we can actually, what is explained in this verse about how, getting that your lusty desires to enjoy beautiful women are not an abode where you can find real shelter. The supreme lover is Yadava Krishna. He is the supreme enjoyer and owner of everyone's love. Offer all your love and devotion to Lord Krishna and you will be completely satisfied. This is what is told in the verse. But how do we do that? How can we get attached to the supreme lover Krishna? How can we do that? The answer is here in the 5th canto that Guru Maharaj is saying that Mahat Sevam, only by rendering service to the lotus feet of the advanced spiritual personalities, the great Mahatmas, we will be able to achieve this impossible feat. So this is the purport of this particular verse. It was amazing to read this, that, such amazing, and, sometimes such impossible feats are always talked about, but then once we seek shelter at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, once we render service to that lotus feet of our spiritual master, everything, it actually, Srimad Bhagavatam says that all our material problems which seem like an ocean, it is reduced to that much water that is contained in a calf's hoof prints. Not even a cow, but a calf, a small calf. Sometimes our material problems seem so huge, like an ocean, that we can't even see the end. Where is it ending? Where is it starting? It's like an ocean of unending problems. But such problems become the size of the water that is left over in the calf's hoof prints once we seek shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, once we surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. But for me personally, my personal realization is that Krishna is the fallen condition that I'm in. I can't relate to that. Krishna is too far away, but I can see the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj. I can see that. So if I just simply take shelter of the lotus feet of Guru, I really feel that all these so-called huge magnanimous problems are all not only like the size of the calf's hoof prints, but they're all gone. They vanish. So that is the benefit of just seeking shelter at the lotus feet of our Guru Vargas. So with that, I will end here. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much.
This is Venkatapati. Please accept humble obeisances. A question, Mataji. Generally, as you have just mentioned, that previously women were not allowed into like doing deity worship in temples And so it was His Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, who saw the future of Kali Yuga and allowed women to be part of the deity service. So when we go out and talk about this aspect and someone questions and says, it's not in the Shastras that women, since Shastras the women are not generally allowed, so how come you all practice in your ISKCON or Krishna consciousness, women being allowed? How are we supposed to answer that, Mataji?
It's a very good question. Very good question. You can quote some more things that are not in the Shastra, like, say, for example, the fact that even up to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that we were supposed to be chanting 64 rounds every day. 64 rounds is what is mentioned by many books and in many books and in many literatures. But it was Srila Prabhupada, because he is that powerful acharya who, had the potency or has the potency to reduce it, seeing the fallen condition of the people in general. So therefore Srila Prabhupada, by his mercy, because of his causeless mercy upon us, he reduced that number from 64 to 16 to us, because of us. Similarly, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all our acharyas, they are Trikaldarshis. They are, imbued with vision of seeing the future. So therefore, envisioning the future, they were able to, make these changes. And that is why they are acharya, because they are empowered to do so. So that is the response that we give. And therefore we have faith in the words of these acharyas. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji, yes, it does. But from in other words, it also means that in future also there's a possibility that things can be modified based on how more things can get degraded as the age progresses?
Actually, it has already been done, like our Guru Maharaj, Pataka Maharaj, he, out of his mercy, he has allowed, like pregnant ladies, he has allowed, even mothers who are just new mothers with kids less than, their babies who are just less than 1 year old, he has allowed some of them officially, when they take permission, he has allowed them to even chant 4 rounds every day, even though they are initiated. He has done that. In few cases, he has done that. So, yes, I'm not... Hello?
Mataji, I could not understand the last part when you mentioned pregnant women and newly born baby mothers. They are generally not allowed to do chanting. I'm not able to understand that part.
No. Because they're pregnant and, it's very difficult for them to chant their rounds at that time. Initiated mothers, when they're new mothers and when they have a newborn baby and no help around. So when they tell this to Jayapataka Maharaj, sometimes with different cases, he has officially asked them that, okay, for some time, it is okay if you chant only 4 rounds. Sometimes pregnant mothers have come to him saying that we can't follow Ekadashi. It's very difficult for us to do Ekadashi when we are, in going through the pregnancy and all that. So Guru Maharaj has said, okay for that also. So there are these kind of, rules that, can be bent when they are coming from the Acharya, you see. So, and when it comes from the Acharya, it's not that anyone can now start following it. You have to get it approved and, you have to tell your situation to Guru Maharaj. And it's not that, it is a thing for the lifetime that, yes, you're okay if you can chant only for, 4 rounds for the rest of your life. No. It's only for a very temporary time, and if you can chant, you should chant all your 16 rounds, but at least chant minimum 4 rounds, like that. So these are some of the things that can happen sometimes if, given special permission to special people who may be needing it.
Thank you, Mataji. I understood now. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful class, Mataji. Mataji, can I make a comment on what you just said about Guru Maharaj, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Mataji, I did not know about this, so thank you so much for sharing. It only goes to show the magnanimity of Guru Maharaj in this. I can just give my personal example. In my very, very early years when I had taken initiation, or maybe a little bit before that, when he would come to Atlanta for Pani Hati, he would allow me to chant on the clicker, which, after initiation also, I think he would say, just chant on the clicker when you are at work, because he knew I was very busy at work and all. And even about making the rounds, sometimes when I used to be on call or post call, it was very difficult for me, but I could make up, the next day or something like that. So he had given a little bit leeway in my early days, and that helped me so much to at least maintain the continuity of it. And then eventually, right now I've reached a point where I don't need to chant on a clicker, fortunately, but in those early days, if the rules were so strict that I have to sit down and chant on my Tulsi Mala Japa beat, it probably was not very possible for me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very magnanimous to allow me to chant on a clicker. He used to always keep this with you at work and keep chanting. So it only goes to say how magnanimous he is, even to allow the pregnant women to chant just 4 rounds.
Exactly.
He's just giving that much mercy that, okay, fine, this is just a phase, chant 4 right now, no problem. You will come to the stage of 16 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it just moves my heart more, the more I hear about him from you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that, Brajeshwari.
Hare Krishna. Did anybody else having more questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept the humble obeisances. Mataji, it was a wonderful class, Mataji. I have 2 questions related to Prabhu, and I have 1 question from myself. Mataji, is it true that it is written in the Shastras that pregnant women should not worship while they are pregnant? Is that true, Mataji? They cannot do deity worship or arati or something like that?
Well, generally, pregnant women, I've not personally read this. I really don't know. But generally, I have seen a lot of, ISKCON Matajis who are, Brahmanas, and sometimes they come and do their service, and they are pregnant at that time. So it's not that they are not allowed to do, because I've seen them doing. So I'm not sure from where this is coming. I'm not sure.
We have some members, they come here and they are not doing any deity worship or puja. That's the reason I was asking Mataji. And one more question I have. Since 4 days, 4 to 1 week, Mataji, I was busy with some other services. So busy, I couldn't get time to spend much time with Radha Madan Mohan deities. So, Mataji, but I feel like separation with Radha Madan Mohan when I was doing all these services. So how I need to, I felt like doing these services and doing with deity worship. I felt deity worship is more good than services because I'm feeling like I'm going far. So how I need to understand, how I need to get that kind of mood, service is also very important as equal as deity worship.
Well, yes, service is very, very important, and so is deity worship. But our first service is always chanting. Chanting is our main service. So that is our main service at all points. Srila Prabhupada and everyone says that 80% of our spiritual advancement is based on our chanting, and 20% is other services. So deity worship comes under other services. So, then we have to then prioritize, which other services we want to engage in apart from our chanting, because chanting is always the first priority. And then apart from chanting, what else we can do? So, yes, we should enter services that we like. Like, recently there was one letter that Srila Guru, it was circulated, that there was a letter that Srila Guru Maharaj wrote to Prabhupada saying that, Prabhupada, you've sent me here to Mayapur and I'm loving to stay here in Mayapur. I love to stay here in Mayapur. I love, these Bengali people. So I'm just thinking that is it okay for me to start getting attached to, being in Mayapur? Is it okay for me? So then Prabhupada wrote back that you're very fortunate that you're liking what your spiritual master has told you to do. Generally, the thing what happens is that even if we don't like it, we should follow the spiritual master's instructions. So Prabhupada wrote back to Jayapataka Maharaj saying that you're very fortunate that you are liking your spiritual master's instructions. So there is no problem that you are liking to stay in Mayapur, because Prabhupada specifically instructed Guru Maharaj to stay and serve in Mayapur. He said that I'm giving you the kingdom of God, now you develop it. So that was direct instructions by Srila Prabhupada. So we should know that what our Guru Maharaj really has instructed us. What is his instructions to us? His primary instructions to us, even at the time of initiation, is that, do you promise to assist me? After he asks about what are the 4 regulative principles, how many rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra will you chant every day? After asking these 2 questions, the third question he asks is that, will you be able to assist me in the preaching mission of Srila Prabhupada and my service to Srila Prabhupada? Will you assist me? And we say yes. We promise him that we are going to assist him in the preaching mission to Srila Prabhupada. So that is our priority. Our preaching is our priority, because that is a promise that we have made to Guru Maharaj. So yes, you are very attached to Radha Madan Mohan. That's very nice. But you should prioritize also. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. Definitely I'm giving first priority to chanting because I finish my rounds early morning. So, but sometimes I get some kind of services at the time of, Aarti time. So I need to give importance to the call I got from our senior devotees, or I need to attend my Aarti first. Which one I have to choose, Mataji?
You have to choose the call from the senior devotees. Because Krishna is also not pleased. One time, I'll give you an instance. Well, the thing is that, this is the incident that happened. That one time Srila Prabhupada, actually he took a few of disciples, and even Guru Maharaj was with Prabhupada, and they visited together the house of one life member in Calcutta. And Srila Prabhupada knocked on the door, the servant came and opened the door, and then Prabhupada said, in Bengali, Prabhupada said, oh, your Malik is there. And the servant said, Malik is doing puja, so come and sit. So Prabhupada was waiting in the living room while the Malik was doing puja to his deity. And then after some time he came out and he greeted Prabhupada. But while Srila Prabhupada was waiting, Prabhupada commented that this man is a fool, that his guru is standing at the door, He was not even a devotee, by the way. He said, but Guru is standing on the door. Prabhupada said, Guru is standing on the door and he is giving more priority to deity. So even deity won't be happy with that. Because when acharyas have come, his first duty, that's why it is said that even when, actually we are taught, when we are given Brahman Diksha, we are taught that when we are chanting Gayatri, we should not break our Gayatri. But there are certain situations when we are allowed to break our Gayatri midway, is when our spiritual master comes in front of us. Then immediately break your Gayatri, stop chanting your Gayatri and offer obeisances. That is the rule. So yes, I would say that, like if the situation that you said, that when you are doing the Aarti, and if you're hearing the phone ringing, you never know from who that phone is coming. Don't keep your phone very near to you. First rule is that don't keep your phone very near to you when you're doing Aarti. Don't do that. Unless you receive calls from your spiritual master, don't do that. Don't keep your phone so close to you that you can see who is calling you. So, let your phone ring, but then, unless if it is your spiritual master, then yes, leave whatever you're doing, then take the call. But if the call can wait, if it's just another devotee, then, it is up to you to choose, that, okay, you can just give him a call back maybe in 5 minutes after you quickly finish the Aarti. You can do that also. But again, while doing deity service, we should be careful. We should be careful that we don't offend the Lord. But again, the Lord will take offense if we are disrespecting or disregarding His dear devotees. So it's a two-way thing. So, does that confuse you even more? Did I confuse you enough?
No, Mataji, not at all. I understood. While doing Aarti, definitely I will not have my phone with me. It's very fast with me. But before Aarti, before starting, if I get called, then I should attend, or I have to tell them Mataji, can you wait for 15 minutes? After Aarti, I will call. I should not speak to my senior devotees like that. Right, Mataji?
Well, yeah, because see, at home, you can always, change your deity timing. It doesn't have to be so particular. But if that phone call is taking too long, then it is perfectly fine. You can just say, Mataji, may I just call you back? I'll quickly do the Aarti to my deities and I'll just call you back. So it is up to you to do the way you are saying it, and if it is a call that can finish very soon, it's perfectly fine. But if it is taking very long, like if you're discussing preaching strategies and this and that, that's going to really take a long time. So you can say, I'm a little busy, Mataji, I'll give you a call right back. And that's perfectly fine if you say like that.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Haribol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I have one other question, if I'm allowed to ask.
Yes, you're always Prabhu. Of course.
Okay. The question I have is, with respect to deity worship, when we are having businesses and things like that, we get suddenly a call. You're actually now inclined, let's say if I'm inclined to get started with my deity worship and I get a call saying, you got to attend this, and at times of emergencies. I've heard that if I can just do Guru Aarti, then that should be fine, and then go and attend the emergency stuff. Is that correct, Mataji, or how is it?
I don't understand. What is Guru Aarti? You mean Guru Puja?
As we know, we do Tulsi Aarti, we do deity worship, we do Guru Puja, So, if we do Guru Puja, would that be, sufficient in times of emergencies, where we cannot give more time to deity worship?
Yes, actually, the thing that we do during Mangalarti, we are starting our day with Guru Vandana. We are singing the Guru Vandana, the Guru Ashtakam. So we are starting our day with literally Guru Puja, although we are worshipping Krishna, we are worshipping the deity, but we are doing deity worship by worshipping the spiritual master. So I don't know how to answer this, that if it is okay for you to just do Guru Puja and attend to your emergency work. Well, yes.
The reason I'm asking is because, when we do all this, the service in the morning, it usually takes at least an hour to do all the series of sevas. So sometimes there's an emergency where I have to go because someone is kind of waiting for me to attend that person. I mean, it could be 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning as well sometimes. That's the nature of business. I'm in construction. Some material come for unloading and I have to go and make the payments. So sometimes the call comes just before I was planning to start the daily services.
Like especially if I am not there to serve Krishna, he's alone is there to serve. Like monthly 5.
Yeah, then that's perfectly fine, Prabhuji. That is perfectly fine that you could just do Guru Puja. And actually, there have been situations like, those who actually go to work very early. I mean, for you it happens once in a while, but there are situations with some devotees who have their life in such a way, what they do? That they actually start for their work by around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And they actually start singing, and their office is around 30 minutes drive. So they start singing Mangalarti. As soon as they sit in the car, they'll start singing Mangalarti, then they'll sing Narsingha Puja, then they'll sing Tulsi Arati, all while driving. So Mangalarti is going on in the car, So
Wow.
that is perfectly fine, Prabhuji. You see, Krishna, he is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. So he's seeing your bhava, and that's why it is said that, yes, Krishna, we have to have some standard of deity worship even at home, but it's okay when we are, in family situations like this. There will be some emergencies at all times. And it's perfectly fine for you to do that. And you can continue singing the Tulsi Puja or Narsingha Arti or even Samsara Dava, everything. On your way, on your journey, you can keep chanting and you can keep doing your work also. That's perfectly fine.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dhanat Pranam, and glorious Krishna, Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. It's a very, very beautiful class, Mataji. In the beginning, I actually missed some of the part, but later on I heard. Yeah, Mataji, I have one question regarding this mind. Sometimes my mind is so disturbed, just open Facebook or just a WhatsApp message. This is all unnecessary. Actually, it happens to me, and then I don't feel it. Very peaceful also. Okay. And then, Mataji, how we can do? In my experience, if I read Bhagavatam regular or chanting nicely, all my sadhana, if I do perfectly, I'm not very interested. Once a while I can watch what is when it's necessary. But sometimes it happens not like that. We try to do, but when we are missing our sadhana, morning also sometimes we may miss chanting or sometimes arati or reading Bhagavatam. And then it happens 3-4 days that the focus goes more in message, WhatsApp, Facebook, like that, Mataji. Can you give some clue, Mataji? It's actually, that is all unnecessary for me, Mataji.
Well, recently I saw, not recently, long time ago actually, there was a very funny cartoon which was getting circulated around WhatsApp. It was like the 10 heads of Ravana, one of them was WhatsApp, one of them was Facebook, the other was Twitter, this, that, so many, social media things that we have for distraction, So, but it is up to us, like how Srila Prabhupada said, that the knife, yes, it is dangerous in itself, but it depends on whose hand it is. depends in whose hands the knife is. If the knife is in the hands of a thief, he will use to kill people. He will use it to harm people. But if the same knife is in the hands of a surgeon, a doctor, he will use it to save lives. So it is up to us how we want to use these, mundane, things in service to Guru and Krishna. It is up to us. And we have to be our own judge. And if we cannot be our own judge, then we'll have to seek guidance of a senior devotee who can tell us, okay, you can explain your situation to them, and then they can give you specific instructions on how you can really, be undisturbed, even when you're using these social media sites and things like that, Like even Srila Prabhupada, there is one story about Srila Prabhupada that one time Prabhupada was giving class, and, in those days it would be very hot. It was summertime, and it was very hot. The temple, that was a newly built temple, it didn't have air conditioner on. The fan was running. So all the boys, all the men, they did not wear any kurta. And if you see many of the videos of the Acharya series, you'll see the boys, they would hardly wear any kurta. They would just put a angavastra on the top, when during Prabhupada's time. Very less people would wear kurta because maybe it was not so easily available also, but whatever. So they would wear dhoti, and sometimes they would even be bare body upwards like that. So what happened was that it was, and this mic, Srila Prabhupada was speaking, the mic, it kept slipping from the stand. It kept slipping from the stand. It kept falling down. So Prabhupada just looked to one of the devotees, and he saw, and he said that, remove your Brahmin thread, Prabhupada said to him. He was just a Brahmin initiated boy, and Prabhupada said, remove your Brahmin thread. So then Prabhupada removed the Brahmin thread from that boy, and Prabhupada asked him to tie the microphone to the stand using that Brahmin thread. So now you tell me, is this how we should be doing? Brahmin thread is something that we consider so sacred, right? That we are, so even when we go into the restroom, the men are supposed to wrap it around their ear and all this. And Prabhupada used the Brahmin thread to tie the microphone? How can Prabhupada do this? And Prabhupada explained it. Prabhupada said that I am here speaking Krishna Katha to you, but there were many, many people gathered. So Prabhupada said, but I cannot speak properly and you cannot hear me properly if this microphone is not working properly. So the purpose for us to chant Gayatri using our Brahmin thread is so that we can ultimately please Krishna. How can we please Krishna? When we preach his message. That's what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So because this microphone was not helping me, therefore I used this Brahmin thread to tie this microphone up so that I can speak Krishna Katha properly, you can hear properly, and thus we can please Krishna. You see how Prabhupada utilized everything in the service of Krishna, in the glorification of Krishna. This is amazing story, it's a, if you, it's there in one of the books, Prabhupada Leelas. So, so we understand that yes, WhatsApp, Facebook, all of this can be a very, very great distraction. But then when we utilize it in the proper way, in glorifying Guru and Krishna, in the service of Guru and Krishna, not compromising our sadhana, then it's perfectly fine. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much to all the devotees. Such beautiful questions and a very wonderful explanation, Mataji. You have made things so crystal clear and very simple. So we should first do our chanting, deity worship comes after that. But I have a very basic question for you. Mataji, what do we do if we cannot do services to our master, or I don't have a spiritual master. Oh, you said that is the first step to actually get Krishna Prema. So how do we do that? How do we do, and what do we do in that case?
Wonderful, wonderful. Firstly, I would like to tell you that this is definitely not a basic question. So never be embarrassed to think that, you are asking a basic question, but because this is actually a very, very relevant and a high-level question. Very nice question.
Thank you, Mataji.
So what I would say is that if we have not yet chosen our spiritual master, who is going to be one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, if we have yet not come to that stage, it is explained that Srila Prabhupada, we should accept him, because Srila Prabhupada is the, for ISKCON, for all the future generations to come, Srila Prabhupada is not only our founder Acharya, but he is our primeval Shiksha Guru. Because we are reading Srila Prabhupada's books, all our books, all our knowledge that we have from Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru for ISKCON for ages to come. So that is the position of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada is your Guru for now. So at the current moment that you are in, the current situation of your life that you are in, you should accept Srila Prabhupada as your Guru and pray to Srila Prabhupada that he can guide you to one of his sons, that you can take direct guidance from, that he can inspire you that who you should choose, and depend on the mercy, because it is said that by Krishna's mercy we get the spiritual master, and by spiritual master's mercy we finally get Krishna Prema. Okay? So we have to pray when you're chanting the holy names. Pray to Srila Prabhupada every day, you pray to the holy names every day, that let them show you your spiritual master. Let them guide you to your spiritual master, who your spiritual master will be. And till then, you accept Prabhupada as your guru, as your Shiksha Guru rather. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji. So then what kind of service can we do to Prabhupada as that?
Well, what service does Prabhupada tell that we should be doing? Prabhupada says that, we should be engaged in, chanting our rounds. We should be engaged in book distribution. We should be engaged in distributing this knowledge to everyone in the form of, doing home programs, reaching out to people, giving Krishna consciousness to others. So what everybody is doing, the beauty of ISKCON, Indu Mataji, is that, whether you're initiated or whether you're not initiated, whether you have a guru or you're yet to get a guru. The difference is just that the devotees who have already got their guru, they're initiated, they have already, boarded the flight, so to speak. But those who are still waiting on receiving their guru, it's like you're just waiting for your ticket to get confirmation. As soon as your ticket is confirmed, you're on waiting list. You will get on that same flight. But you have to still be prepared for your travel. You know that you're going to travel. You know that for sure. So you will be going on this travel. You will be taking this journey. So you are packing. You are getting ready. And the devotees who have already boarded the flight, they have also been through that same process. They have also packed. Their suitcases and luggages are already being checked in. They are inside the flight waiting for you. So that's the only difference. So even inside the flight, they are going to continue to do the same thing. While you're still waiting on your flight for your ticket confirmation, you will also continue to do the same thing. Of course, there are certain privileges that you get after initiation, like, for example, you will get nice service coming to you. You know, the air hostess will come and give you nice water, nice prasadam. All of this will come to you, you know, extra facilities when you're inside the flight. But so similarly, those who are initiated, they get some extra facilities, like they get to do some deity seva, they get to do some, you know, other seva which only some initiated devotees are allowed to do. So there will be that difference, but otherwise, common, you know, common services are common for everyone, whether you're initiated or not.